What's good, y'all? L Famous, living my life, not thinking about it twice. Don't be scared to like, subscribe, or share. It's dope content. If you like it, let's get it. Yeah, let's get it. Now this joint gonna be dark. Yeah, it's gonna get dark for y'all today. You heard? It's gonna get dark for y'all today, man. For real, B. And I'm going deep, man. I'm going deep, man. Everybody know what's going on. You heard? Everybody know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what's going on. You heard? Dude got killed up there in Marcy Correctional Facility the other day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And basically, there's mad video footage out there of the whole incident. You know what I'm saying? They dragged the dude from the jail into the infirmary and they beat the dude up, man. They beat the dude something terrible. Actually, they killed the guy. You know what I'm saying? They killed the guy. The guy was, I think, 32 or 40 years old, or 42 from out of Harlem, I believe, and they killed that guy. You heard? He was up there serving some time for assault on a woman. You heard? And basically, he was doing his time. He was in a medium, probably was finishing it off, and basically he got into an incident with the police, and they did him dirty. And the things that shocked me about that video with the police that did him dirty was, if you look at all the police and how they did him dirty, they were taking their turns, hitting him, kicking him, punching him, choking him. One police set it off by going out the room and coming back in and putting a cloth or something in his mouth. You understand what I'm saying? Trying to suffocate him. And then while the other police was choking him at the same time. So I'm just letting y'all know that's how it be going down up there. You heard? A lot of people be having loved ones and they be saying, and they be getting the word that their loved ones died up north from this, from that. You know what I'm saying? And actually, things like what you see on the video be happening to them. You know what I'm saying? And they be setting dudes up. I told a video on Prisoner yesterday on how a dude died that killed two COs trying to escape, and basically he got killed later on down the line when he was fighting them charges. You heard? In another jail box. You heard? By other COs, and that's how they do. You heard? They used to beat that dude up a lot, and they had that dude on a liquid diet. They had that dude on a loaf. They had that dude under extreme conditions. They wasn't giving that dude medical attention like they were supposed to. They wasn't giving that dude mental health, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to say that dude hung himself, but they used to take that dude out of his cell and beat him up and bring him back in the cell. And we don't know what they did to him that night, because the dude was full of life all week. He was always on his gate, talking to dudes at certain times. He ain't mess with everybody, but he talked to certain dudes at certain times that been in the box down there with him a long time. And all of a sudden, one night, niggas woke up in the middle of the night and they were saying that he hung himself. That shit was fugazi. I'm just telling y'all, it was fugazi. So you got the video out there of the dude getting killed a couple of weeks ago, but they just released the video now. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know that CO's been doing shit like that to us up there. And it's not a black or white thing. They beat up all prisoners. You know what I'm saying? They beat up all prisoners, black, Spanish, and white. You understand what I'm saying? They don't care. When you get on their bad side, them niggas go ham. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas is a big gang that in there. Them, like in Attica, they used to have the black glove gang. Them niggas be having their black gloves, and when you walk out, they be having their black gloves on. They be hitting their hand. They be like, you know what I'm saying, looking at you. You know what I'm saying? They be like, them niggas like the black glove KKK. You heard? Them niggas was been doing their thing. So, you know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing new. This just sheds a light on what's going on behind closed doors. It just sheds a light on what's going on behind closed doors. But that's not my story today. That's not my story today. Today's story is about my cousin, Sharie. You heard? Sharie Wilson. Yeah, Sharie Wilson. And I gotta let y'all niggas know that Sharie Wilson, he was my cousin, right? He was one of my cousins. He was my uncle's son. You heard? And me and him was around the same age, you know what I'm saying? We was around the same age, you know what I'm saying? I think I was a year older than him, but we was around the same age. And Sharie, his mother used to, at one time he lived with us for a short time. His mother, his sister, and they lived with us for a short time, but I always knew Sharie as being one of my cousins, you know what I'm saying? My first cousins. And Sharie was a quiet kid. He was quiet. He was always chubby. You heard? He was always smart. You know what I'm saying? He always was. He wasn't the type of person that you would think that was gonna be in the street or was a bad kid. He was nowhere near like me. I was the complete opposite. Sharie was the complete opposite of me. I was the bad kid. He was the good cousin. I was the bad cousin. He was the good cousin, and we was around the same age. So, growing up, I always had a lot of love for Sharie because he was a cousin that I was close with from my mother's side. All my cousins is mainly on my father's side. So my mother's side is it's a small knit of us. So he was one of my cousins. So basically, I always loved my cousin Sharie. He always loved me. I could tell like he wanted to live with us a lot. You know what I'm saying? So he could whatchamacallit, you know what I'm saying? So he could because he knew living with us, me and my grandmother, he'd have a better life. You understand what I'm saying? Because my grandmother took good care of us, you know what I'm saying? And his mother, I don't know if his mother was smoking at the time or his mother was just, you know, wasn't able to take care of them like that. She was one of them ladies that she was having her kids, but she always had a different man, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a lot of time, and she used to, like, Sharif and them came up kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? So he used to you could tell that he wanted to live with us. So to make a long story short, Sharif started having problems with his mother, new boyfriend, you heard, or whatever. So now, next thing you know, he ran away, you know what I'm saying? So when he first ran away and all that, he came over to grandma's house, you heard? So my grandma took him in, and basically his older brother was living there, you know what I'm saying? He had an older brother, my cousin Corey, that's from a different mother, with the same pops, my uncle, you heard? He was living with us too. He was older than me, and he was living with us and my grandmother and my aunt and us too. We had a big 3-bedroom apartment, 2 bathrooms and all that, you heard? Boom, boom. So, when Sharif ran away, his older brother and we had a good talk with him and all that. He told his older brother the problems and all that he was having with his mother boyfriend and all that. So basically, my grandmother was so nice. She said, Sharif, you could live here. You know what I'm saying? So Sharif started staying with us, but we didn't know what Sharif was all about, because to us, Sharif was a quiet kid, smart kid, wasn't in the street, wasn't into this, wasn't into that. So you would think that Sharif gonna be chilling in the house all day. Nah, Sharif started living with us, and then he started going outside. And when he was going outside, he wasn't hanging with me because I was too fast for him. So he was going down to the village. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was going down to the village. Now, I always thought in my mind that Sharif might be gay because his demeanor, how he acted. You know, certain people, you don't know that they're gonna be gay, but certain people come off with a certain type of feminine that you could suspect it. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you don't crucify them for it, or you don't look down on them for it, you still might see that, yeah, they're my little cousin or my little brother or my little man might be on some homo shit or might be on some gay shit, you know what I'm saying? So my cousin Sharif had gay traits, but it wasn't, none of us knew that that was really his lifestyle, you heard? That could have been the problems he was having with his stepfather. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So boom. So now, the nigga Sharif used to go down to the village and hang with his men. And another thing about Sharif, he was in a school of art and design, or I think he was in a school art and design. He was in one of them that smart school in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? He was in, because I told you he was real smart. You know what I'm saying? So now, he was going to that school at that time. So, you know, down at that school, you meet different people. You meet people from all over. You meet people from Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, all over. So he had a friend from Queens, I believe. It was either Queens or Brooklyn. Matter of fact, I think it was Brooklyn. You heard? Or Queens. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to go back on the story. You can look up the story and you can see. The story is on the news, up in the newspaper and everything, because it was big. You know what I'm saying? So now, look. So now, he hanging with his little homie from Brooklyn or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or Queens, right? They down in the village. They doing them. You heard? You know what I'm saying? They on some chump shit, but they young chumps. You know what I'm saying? So boom, they in the street. They don't know nothing about prison. They don't know nothing about jail. They don't know nothing about that type of life. They living their life in the street. So now, Sharif is like 15 years old. Sharif is 15 years old. My cousin is 15 years old. So boom, all of a sudden, they down in the village. He hanging with his dude from Brooklyn or Queens. You heard? So now, all of a sudden, the dude from Brooklyn or Queens, he's like, yo, let's go to my house and get something to eat, change clothes and all that, or whatever. So boom, him and Sharif leave. They leave the village. They go to his man house. It's either Brooklyn or Queens. Boom. They go in the house. When they go in the house, they find 3 people dead. And guess what 3 people is dead? The dude that my cousin Sharif, man, his homeboy that he hanging in the village with, his mother, his sister, and a neighbor is dead. I'm talking about dead. You know what I'm saying? They walk in the house regular to get something to eat and change your clothes. His friend said, let's go to my house so we can get something to eat, change your clothes, and probably get some money from my mother. Word to my mother. They walked in the house. The mother's dead. His little sister's dead. And the next door neighbor's dead. You heard? They all been killed. I don't know how they been killed, but they all been killed. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So boom. They call the police. Police come. You know this procedure. Take them down to the precinct to get the full story, this and that and this and that and this. Boom. Now, I told y'all, my cousin only 15 years old. The dude he with, that this happened to his family, he's older. He's like 17, you heard? 18, you know what I'm saying? So now, when they get in the precinct, the police is asking them what happened and what happened. So they like, yeah, we was in the village, hanging out, boom, 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 boom. We went home to get something to eat, change of clothes, and we came home, my mother was dead, and my sister's dead, and then that's the next door neighbor or whatever. It's like, oh, word, all right. You know how police is. They asking the niggas 1,000 times the same question. Make a long story short, the dude that mother that happened to, they tried to flip it and bounce it and say that he did that to his own family. They tried to say that he did that to his own mother and sister and next door neighbor over money. Yeah, this is what the police is saying. So I heard the dude, imagine that, y'all. Police, you walk into a house, your mother, your sister, and the neighbor's dead. You got to deal with all that. And then they take you to the precinct and you tell them there's the story of what happened that you could witness when you came, and they telling you, nah, that ain't happened. Tell us the story again, that ain't happened. You know you really did it, this and that and this. That'll make you flip out. That'll make you go through so much, you know what I'm saying? So imagine that kid in there being accused of killing his mother, his sister, and the next door neighbor. You heard? So I heard that kid was like, get the hell out of here, I ain't do shit. So boom, you know, they stamp the paperwork, boom, he on the next boat of Rikers Island, into the judge. Then they go in the room, interrogate my cousin, you heard? Now, I told y'all, my cousin don't know nothing about the street. He actually is a square. He got accepted to art and design high school. He's very smart. He on some homo shit, but the family and everybody don't really know that, you know what I'm saying? He got feminine ways, but that's my cousin, so I never looked at him that way. So now, basically, they got him in the room, and they telling him, yo, you did this. You and him did this. You and him did this. Why y'all do it? Why y'all do it? My cousin crying, he going in, I ain't do that, I ain't do this. Now I'm telling y'all, my cousin is nothing like me. He was the opposite of me. I was all the way alive, a young street nigga, going outside every day, getting in the mess, getting locked up, doing everything. You heard? Doing everything. My cousin was nothing like me. He was a house nigga. He hang with his sister. He real tight with his sisters and them. He was different. You know what I'm saying? But I never judged him because that's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? And I loved him. So boom. So I heard he told the family that they was beating him up in there, saying, yeah, you did that. Yeah, you did that. We know you did that. And he beating him up in there, beating him up in there, beating him up in there. And you gotta remember, my cousin is only 15. My cousin only 15. My cousin only 15. So them police in there giving him rib shots, beating him up, smacking him in the back of the head, beating him, punching him from the side, just doing what they want to do. You know, police shit, you heard? And they trying to make him admit to doing that. So I told y'all, my cousin wasn't street. Guess what he did, y'all? He admitted to killing them people in the house, B, in the precinct, B. And my cousin knew, and the dude that his family that happened to knew that niggas ain't had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. You heard? And that's their family. That's the kid family that this happened to. How do y'all got the nerve to charge them with this crime? Well, sure enough, they charged my cousin and the kid that happened to his own family with the crime. And the kid was 18. My cousin was only 15. So the kid, seeing that they was going to jail, the kid told my cousin, yo, say you 16, you heard? Or 17 or whatever. So my cousin lied and said he was like 17. They sent my cousin to the island. So they sent both of them to the island. With 3 bodies. Three bodies, y'all. This is how New York giving it up. This how them police niggas was giving it up, B, back in the days, B. You heard? This is how them police was giving it up back in the days, B. They'd snatch a nigga out that neighborhood and put those crimes, the murders on niggas just to get that case rolling, B. You heard? Just to have some answers. Just to cover up. Just to cover up. Now, I know y'all got people out there bugging like, yo, that nigga said what? That nigga admitted to 3 bodies that he didn't do? Yeah, you know that nigga wasn't street. You know that nigga was a snitch. You know that nigga was a lame. You know that nigga was this. You know, yo, I'm gonna tell y'all niggas, that nigga was my cousin. That nigga was not street. That nigga was in art and design high school. That nigga was like gay, but nobody knew he was gay yet. You heard, he didn't come out yet. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't in the life, you heard? That was just a misfortunate situation that happened to him. And like I told you, that nigga ain't never had no police contact. So them niggas beat the shit out that nigga in that room to make that nigga tell on himself on a crime that he didn't do. On a crime that he didn't do. So not only did he tell on himself, by him telling on himself, he had to tell on the homeboy. You heard? So them niggas got sent to Rikers Island immediately. Them niggas went straight to the island, nigga. And they was adolescent. You heard? So boom. My cousin on the island. My cousin was on the island. And I wound up going through the island. I got caught with the gun around Tab. So I wound up going through the island at that time. And I seen my cousin in the school building. Because they had me in 2 Main. You know what I'm saying? And then they had to do me in the school building. I went to the school building because I was in there for like a week. You know what I'm saying? Before I got bailed out on that gun. So I seen my cousin Sharie up there, and I was like, yo, what's good, cuz, and this and that. I only had a short time to talk to him. I ain't had a long time to talk. Like, yo, good, cuz. Like, yeah, he was happy to see me and all that. I was happy to see him, you know what I'm saying? I was wondering how he was getting by in, because I knew this shit was crazy, and this nigga in here for 3 bodies, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't nothing like me, And I could see it in him when I seen him in there. He still ain't nothing like me, you heard? So I'm like, damn, big. You heard? This shit crazy, you heard? I'm a fucking cuz. So I talked to him, I asked him, he's all right. The same day I seen him was the same day I got bailed out. Word of mother. And guess who was bailing me out? Grandma. So as soon as I got home, I'm like, yeah, Grandma, I seen Sharie and this and that and this and that and this. Yo, we was sick, B. I was sick and my grandma was sick for Sharie. Because I'm going to tell you like this. He went down for them 3 bodies. I told you when I ran into him, he had a couple of months in already. He had like 4 or 5 months in already. Yo, that's word of my mother. That nigga family, his mother and them, they was not going to his court dates, nothing, B. That nigga ain't have no family support, B. My grandmother didn't even know where to go. My grandma was trying to find out where he had court at and all that. She didn't even know where to go. She was calling his mother ain't know nothing and all that. This is how people do. And this is why it was so easy for the police to put them charges on him. You heard? Imagine the niggas putting 3 bodies on you that you didn't do. And you ain't got your mother, you ain't got your sisters, and you ain't got nobody fighting for you. Your father, his father was out. His father, my uncle, but my uncle was on some dope shit at the time. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, my uncle started cleaning up his life. Started trying to clean up his life but it didn't work. He was too strung out on that dope shit. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't have his pops. The nigga moms wasn't going to court for him. They wasn't fighting for him. Like, nigga, my son ain't do that. What? You're getting niggas behind him and all. That's word of my mother, man. They left that nigga for dead. It was like that nigga was fighting them 3 bodies is alone, nigga. And I was sick for him because I knew what jail was all about. I've been on the island a few times. I ain't been up north, but I've been on the island. So, and I was wild on the island. Man, the first time I went on the island, it was wild for me. So I was like, damn, I wonder how my cousin getting by in this shit. You know what I'm saying? So boom, make a long story short, a couple months after I seen him, they packed him up and sent him to Spofford because they found out that he was only 15 and he lied just because his co-defendant told him to lie. You know what I'm saying? But his co-defendant probably didn't even know that my cousin told on him. You heard? And didn't tell on him. He told on theyself. He lied on theyself. You heard? He lied on himself. He lied on him and the dude. You heard? On some snitching shit, lying then. You gonna admit to something that you never did? And this is something that my grandmother wound up telling that nigga once he told my grandma what he did. That he admitted to all that shit. You heard? They was beating him up and all that. You heard? And my grandmother told him, boy, you don't never admit to nothing you ain't never do. You don't never admit to nothing you ain't never do. So, but that was too late. He already done that. So a couple months, he did like 7, 8 months on the island. They sent him to Spark because they found out his real age. His mother finally brought up his paperwork, his birth certificate and all that. Said, yo, look, he was only 15. Well, I don't know why y'all got him in Rikers Island. So they immediately got him out of there and sent him to Spofford. You heard? So boom, he in Spofford fighting 3 bodies, nigga. And his co-defendant is on the island fighting 3 bodies, nigga, for his mama, his sister, and the family friend next door. That's crazy, nigga. These police, them foul-ass police from Brooklyn to Queens, them niggas done put 3 bodies on 2 young niggas, B. And they said that these niggas did it. And they said this nigga killed his own mother and his sister for money, nigga. For money, for petty money. You heard? They done drew up a plan, said that they killed 3 people over money. All women. Crazy, right? So boom, you would think the court to see through the bullshit. You would think the judges, the DAs, everybody to see through the bullshit. Even if they got these dudes, even if my cousin did admit to this shit, the evidence and everything is not going to add up. The motive and nothing's going to add up. Once you got the son saying he didn't do it, like, come on, man. Niggas called y'all, told y'all what happened, went to the precinct, did everything that he was supposed to do, and y'all still put this on them. You heard? And like I told you, they didn't go in the precinct saying that they did this or my cousin went in there and said, yeah, and automatically start snitching and all that. No, they beat them niggas up. I don't know if they beat the dude up that it was his son, it was her son, the friend, but I know my cousin said that they beat the shit out of him because they seen he was the weakest link. Never been in trouble, square, probably gay, man. Put pressure on this motherfucker. Punch him up a few times. You heard? Choke him up a few times. Same shit that he did. They doing the people out there. Y'all seen on that video where they killing that inmate. You heard? Same shit. Same shit. The only thing is they keeping you alive. You heard? And there was no body cameras back then. You know what I'm saying? There was no body cameras back then. This is in 1992, y'all. This is 1992, y'all. I'm telling y'all about it. 1992, because I got caught with the gun in 1992. You heard? This is 1992. You heard? So my cousin, they sent him to Sparkman. in Sparfit, they got some shit where in Sparfit and juvenile, they couldn't give you more than 9 to life. You heard? For any crime, you could get 9 to life. You know, the most you could get was 9 to life. You heard? So, but while we was in there, they changed it. They changed it to 12 to life. I believe it's 12 to life now. You heard? They can only give a juvenile 12 to life now. Up the longest 12 to life. Now 12 to life, you could do 20, 30 years because you got 12 to life. So don't think that you're going to do 12 years and they going to let you go. No. They be holding niggas for 20-something years. They be niggas be having 12 to life. Niggas be doing 20-something years, you heard? Getting hit 9 times at the board and all that. Yeah, with 2. So now, my cousin, I think my cousin, I don't know if he copped out or he blew trial. I don't know what happened with him. I just know he got 9 to life or 12 to life. You heard? And he got sent up north, and then he was in Green. Now, I heard my cousin was in Green for like, he did 21 years off that bed. 21 years off that bed. You heard? 21 years. You heard? And how he got home was the dude, his co-defendant, that always say he didn't do it. He was up in Attica somewhere, and he had met somebody that went home and passed his case off to some lawyers. And he was fighting hard to get home. And somebody was fighting hard for him to get home. They had about 21 years in. And them lawyer people out here, they fought for my cousin and him to get home. Because come to find out, 3 years after my cousin and his co-defendant was locked up, somebody else got raped and murdered in Brooklyn in a park, and they had DNA, and they took DNA, and the same DNA they found the same DNA at my cousin and them scene. You heard? Because my cousin, they ain't have no DNA or nothing with my cousin, but they only had DNA of the kid, his co-defendant, because the co-defendant lived there. So you know they had DNA from around the house of the co-defendant, but they had no DNA of my cousin. So 3 years after my cousin and his co-defendant is locked up, probably just going up north for their crimes, that the 3 bodies that they didn't do, is another murder committed in Brooklyn somewhere in a park, in a rape. They had got some DNA evidence off her, and they come to find out when they threw it in the bank, this shit came a match to the other DNA evidence. But look, prosecutors and all that didn't pull my cousin and them back down, have a new trial, none of that. And they knew about that evidence. They knew about that evidence. They found out about that evidence, that DNA evidence, and they withheld that. And my cousin and his co-defendant did 21 years off of a lie that my cousin told, because the police beat the nigga up because he wasn't street. But that ain't gonna mean, that ain't no excuse. You heard? You never admit to something you didn't do. Better yet, something that you did. You know what I'm saying? You don't never admit to something that you did do with these crackers, B. You heard? Because they gonna fry you with it. They gonna fry you with it. You know what I'm saying? And my cousin did 21 years, and the dude came home. They brought my cousin home, and they brought the dude home immediately. And as soon as they came home, they was on CNN. You heard? And that's how you know it was real, that it was a real exoneration case, because they was on CNN. And they was talking to my cousin, and they was talking to his co-defendant, and the co-defendant was saying live on TV that he's not mad at my cousin, and he forgave my cousin and all that, and this and that and this. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Because he know my cousin was young and wasn't really street like that. He was more advanced than my cousin and all that. You know what I'm saying? And it went out on the system, because, you know, that's how the system played. Took them niggas' lives away from them. So he was in the course of getting some money back for a lawsuit. You heard? He settled a lawsuit. And I remember when he was home, he was real fat. Because he was in Green. I heard he was in Green. I heard he was cooking and all that. I heard he was on some homo shit up in Green. But I heard he was a cool nigga. Everybody fucked with my cuz. You heard I heard he was in Green for over like 18 years or some shit. I heard he was in one jail, Green, correctional facility, that wild ass medium, for 18 years. And a lot of people probably know of my cousin that went through Green, my cousin Sharie, had the 3 bodies that he didn't do. Because he had a famous case. You know what I'm saying? So he came home. They hit CNN. As soon as they came home, I'm watching them on CNN. My sister called me like, "Look, Sharie on CNN." I was happy he was home. Last time I seen him was on the island in 1992. You heard he just did 21 years. He just been exonerated. Now, so he living with his sister. Her sister and his husband. They living not too far from where I'm staying at. So I go find out. I run into his sister. My sister sent me the address. I call him up. I go over there to see him. I pull up at the sister house. I'm kicking it with my cuz and all that. Boom, boom, boom. I'm happy to see him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even asked him about his lawsuit or none of that, because that's gonna look like I'm looking for something from him. Nigga, this nigga just did 21. Nigga, I was in the street. You know what I'm saying? I just did 7, but nigga, that's not 21 for a crime you didn't do. So, I'm not sweating him. I'm just kicking it, getting back, catching up with him with family shit. You heard? So boom. His sister and her husband, they there. They got a nice little spot. You know what I'm saying? The husband got a nice job. You know what I'm saying? You heard they doing them. So boom. He living with them for a couple of weeks. They start coming at him. You heard? Cause he mad fat. So they talk about. They call the sister telling my sister through conversation, my husband is getting tired of him and he gotta go. He broke the couch and he broke the chair. He did this, he did that. So my sister was working in Jacoby Hospital and all that at that time. You know what I'm saying? She on some family shit. You know what I'm saying? We was tight with them growing up, you know what I'm saying, before that happened with him. So my sister said, all right, you can come live with me and my husband and my family, you heard? You know what I'm saying? We got an extra room and all that. You know what I'm saying? So boom, he jumped on that shit, you heard? So boom, he went and lived. Now you gotta remember, he ain't get his money or nothing yet. He waiting on his money. He just closed the case. He settled for a certain amount of money. He about to get his money. You heard? In a minute. He about to get his money so much that he's living with my sister, but his mother and them, they coming to meet him at my sister's house, and they bringing him to a loan shark. You heard? Yeah, they bringing him to a loan shark in Harlem somewhere. Got him borrowing money. So my sister catch wind of it. So my sister's telling nigga like, yo, listen, you could do what you want, but don't let no loan shark know where I live at. You heard? Cause you living with me and my family and all that loan shark shit and all that. We don't want them niggas knowing where we live, and you live with us and all none of that. We don't got nothing to do with none of that. So he was like, oh, all right. But he's still borrowing money and all that. You heard? So then my sister and them found out some shit what he doing on the computer. So they had to get rid of him. My sister don't play that. She got rid of that nigga because she told that nigga from the jump, don't bring none of that homo shit, none of that gay shit around my kids and my family and none of that. You heard? And don't tell the loan shark or nothing about where you live. You heard? And everything that my sister told him not to do, he did. You know what I'm saying? And my sister was taking care of him, because like I said, we was raised right by our grandmother. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to live with us. He lived with us for like 2 weeks before he ran away and got caught up in that situation. You know what I'm saying? he wanted to live with us. He wanted to come up like how we came up. You know what I'm saying? So my sister was looking out for the nigga crazy. Had the nigga living with her family and her husband and everybody. So boom, and taking care of this nigga. And don't want to down for this nigga. Don't want to down from this nigga. You heard? Don't want to down from this nigga. You heard? So I don't know what it was. I don't know if his family was throwing shit in his head. Anyway, my sister got rid of that nigga, right? Sent him back somewhere. I don't know where he went. I don't know if he went back with his sister or his other sister. I don't know where he went. Make a long story short, I think right after that, soon after that, he fell ill. And he died, B. He had a heart attack. He was only home a year. Less than a year, probably. You heard? Yeah, B. Nigga did 21 years for a crime he didn't do. And then came home and didn't even live a year and died. The other dude, his co-defendant, got the money and all that, living his life probably, you heard? You know what I'm saying? He might even see this, you heard? You know what I'm saying? But he forgave my cousin and all that, you heard? Because, you know, he knew my cousin and had nothing to do with that life. And he got caught up with him going to his house, and them niggas got framed for killing his own mother, sister, and neighbor, you heard? So that's how deadly and fucked up the police is, man. You know what I'm saying? And treacherous it was for black people back in the days. So all this beating on niggas that we seeing on video, all this killing niggas on video, with choking niggas with their knee on niggas' neck, all that choking niggas on camera, with niggas choking Eric Gardner to death out there, you know what I'm saying? All that running down, killing Trayvon Martin, on voice recorder. You could hear everything that happened. You hear the dispatchers telling the dude, stop following the dude, stop doing this, stop doing that, and the dude did it anyway. You heard? Forced that little young boy to defend himself, and then he already knew he was gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a weapon on him. You understand what I'm saying? You heard? And it's obvious that he been scheming on this young boy Trayvon Martin, because he's part of this fake ass patrol shit. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Community control. You heard? You know what I'm saying? So don't let this shit fool you, man. Don't let this shit fool you. They've been killing us in them courts with crimes we didn't commit. Everybody that was in jail didn't do the crime, man. Everybody that's got all that time, all them crazy crimes or them brutal cases and all that, didn't do them cases, man. Everybody ain't do it, bitch. And I just gave y'all a prime example, my little cuz. You heard? He did 21 hard ones, and his family wasn't there for him like that. Yeah, my family was not there for him like that on that 21, bro. My family was not there for him on that 21, B. You heard? I heard that nigga was a superb cook and all that. Nigga was cooking and all that in green and all that. He probably was cooking niggas meals and all that to survive. You heard? You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas probably felt sorry for him for his case and all that. You heard? Because they could tell by his demeanor that he wasn't built for this shit. He ain't even built for that shit. When he came home, he wasn't even no turned out jail nigga or nothing. Doing 21. He still was Sharie. Mad, quiet, scary looking nigga. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Cuzzo, man. It is what it is, man. You heard? The system foul.